Hi friends, today we are going to learn coded inequalities, a very important chapter in reasoning. So definite 5 marks in any part of examination, any pattern of examination. We'll see. So what are all being given and how to learn easily. So we'll go ahead each one by one. So what are all the inequality symbols in coded inequalities? What are all the inequality symbols normally? So we do have greater than, less than, equal to, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. But only these three symbols we will use in entire coded inequalities chapter, because greater than or equal to, less than or equal to coming under these three symbols only, right? So now we will see that. So how to move ahead? If I say that A is equal to B, B is equal to C, C is equal to D. If I say A is equal to B, B is equal to C, C is equal to D. So what is the relationship between A and D? What is the relationship between A and D? So yes, so it is nothing but A is equal to D, which we have learned in school days. If A is been equal to B, B is equal to C, C is equal to D, we can easily able to say A is equal to D. Same like that, if I say A is greater than B, B greater than C, C greater than D. So what is the relationship between A and D? We can able to say A is greater than D, right? That implies A is greater than D. So we do have only 7 or 8 conditions are there, around 8 conditions are there in coded inequalities. If you can able to learn those 8 conditions, you will be perfect in coded inequalities. Now we will see step by step what are all those conditions. Okay, so first one, see that in order to find out the relationship between any two terms, all the terms must be connected. So now see that between A and D, A is equal to D, we can able to say A is greater than D. Suppose if I say that A is equal to B and C is equal to D, can you able to tell what is the relationship between A and D? No. Why? Because B and C terms are not connected. Same like that, if I say A is greater than B, C is greater than D, what is the relationship between A and D? Means since B and C terms are not connected, we cannot able to find out the relationship between A and D. So based on which what we can conclude? So in order to find out the relationship between any two terms, all the terms in between must be connected. Are you clear? So in order to find out the relationship between any two terms, all the terms in between must be connected. If there is no connecting term, there won't be any conclusion at all. There won't be any conclusion at all. Now if I say A is greater than B, B is less than C. A is greater than B, B is less than C. What is the relationship between A and C? What is the relationship between A and C? So terms are being connected, right? If there is no connecting term, there won't be any conclusion at all. But here the connecting term is there. Now what is the conclusion? Now we see that A is greater than B, B less than C implies C greater than B. B less than C means C greater than B. A is also greater than B, C is also greater than B. So what is the relationship between A and C now? So it looks like A may be equal to C, right? A may be equal to C. You can say that A may be equal to C, but that is not only the option. We do have other options also. We will see that. So A is greater than B, C is also greater than B. Suppose take the value of B as 10. Take the value of B as 10. So A is greater than B means A can be 11 or A can be 50 or A can be 100, any other number also. Because A is greater than B, we can take any number. So more than B, A can be 11, A can be 50 or A can be 100. Same like that, suppose if I take that C as 50, C as 11 and C as 100. So we can take any number. So C as 50, C as 11 and C as 100. Now if you see that between compared with A and C, what is the relationship between A and C? If you consider A as 11 and C as 50, A is less than C. And the second condition, if you take A as 50 and C as 11, A is greater than C. In the third condition, if you consider A as 100 and C as 100, A equal to C. That means what is the relationship between A and C when A is greater than B, B less than C, or A greater than B, B less than C? Relationship between A and C means all three possibilities are there. A may be equal to C, A may be less than C, A may be greater than C. That means we cannot able to find out the definite conclusion between A and C whenever symbols are in the opposite direction. Whenever symbols are in the opposite direction. That means in order to find out the relationship between any two terms, first and foremost rule, all the terms must be connected. All these terms must be connected. Whenever terms are not connected, there won't be any conclusion at all. And all the symbols, whenever opposite symbols are there, we cannot able to find out the conclusion. That means all the symbols must be in the same direction. Then only we can able to find out the relationship between any two terms. Whenever symbols are in the opposite direction, simply we need to conclude that there won't be any conclusion at all. Now, if I say A greater than B greater than C, what is the conclusion? Means we can say A greater than C, right? So if I say A greater than or equal to B greater than C, what is the conclusion you will be getting? What is the conclusion you will be getting? Now we will see. What is the meaning of A greater than or equal to? Means A may be greater or A may be equal, but both cannot be true. Between any two terms, only either it can be greater or lesser or equal to. So here A greater than or equal to B means A may be greater or A may be equal to, and B is greater than C. We will see that what are all the conditions, possibilities are there here. So we will consider first A is greater than B greater than C. So here A greater than C. What is the second condition we have? A equal to B greater than C. So what is the meaning of A equal to B greater than C? So whenever A equal to B, so equal to is being mentioned, put it in a single box. Whatever is applicable for B will be applicable for A, because both the terms are same. So B is greater than C automatically implies A is also greater than C. Why? Because A and B are same. So A is greater than C only. By combining together, you will be getting A greater than C only. A greater than C. Similarly, if I say A is greater than B greater than or equal to C, A is greater than B greater than or equal to C. So one is A greater than B greater than C. Another condition, A greater than B equal to C. If I say A greater than B equal to C, whenever equal to is there, put it in a single box, because whatever is applicable for B will be applicable for C. Both the terms are same. A greater than B automatically implies A greater than C also, because B and C are same. A is greater than C. These two combined together, you will be getting A is greater than C1, based on which what we can conclude. So see that whichever common symbols are there, that common symbol only will come into the picture in the final conclusion. So whichever common symbols are there, that common symbol only will come into the picture in the final conclusion. So what we have learned, in order to find out the relationship between any two terms, all the terms must be connected, all the symbols must be in the same direction. Whichever common symbols are there, that common symbol only will come into the picture in the final conclusion. Whenever terms are not connected, there won't be any conclusion at all. Whenever opposite symbols are there, there won't be any conclusion at all. Now see that what is the next one. If I go ahead with A greater than or equal to B greater than or equal to C, what will be the conclusion? We have seen all these possibilities here. We are left with now A equal to B equal to C only. Now this is nothing but A equal to C. All these combined together, you will be left with A is greater than or equal to C. So that is the reason, in order to find out the relationship between any two terms, all the terms must be connected, all the symbols must be in the same direction. Whichever common symbols are there, that common symbol only will come into the picture in the final conclusion. Whenever terms are not connected, there won't be any conclusion at all. Whenever opposite symbols are there, there won't be any conclusion at all. Similarly, we can go ahead with A less than B less than C. You will be getting A less than C. A less than or equal to B less than C, you will be getting A less than C. A less than B less than or equal to C, you will be getting A less than C. A less than or equal to B less than or equal to C, you will be getting A less than or equal to C. Now if I say A greater than B less than C, we need to say opposite symbols are there, no conclusion. Simply we need to conclude saying no conclusion. If I say A greater than or equal to B less than C, same, no conclusion. A greater than B less than or equal to C, we need to say no conclusion. A greater than or equal to B less than or equal to C, we need to say no conclusion. A less than B greater than C, we need to say no conclusion. A less than or equal to B greater than C, we need to say no conclusion. A less than B greater than or equal to C, we need to say no conclusion. A less than or equal to B greater than or equal to C, we need to say no conclusion. So just to update you that whenever opposite symbols are there, there won't be any conclusion at all. So in addition to that one, if I say A greater than B equal to C, what is the conclusion? Whenever equal to is there, the best method is put it in a single box, round it off, put it in a single box. Whatever is applicable for B will be applicable for C. So A greater than B means automatically means A greater than C only. If I say A greater than or equal to B equal to C, what is the conclusion? So now you will be getting a doubt. Why? Because whichever common symbols are there, that common symbol only will come into the final conclusion. This is what we learnt. Now here coming here, A greater than or equal to B equal to C means, so you may tell the answer as A equal to C, which is wrong. So always keep in mind, whenever it is being attached or associated with equal to symbol separately, round it off, make it as a single term. Make it as a single term from the other symbols, apart from equal to, from the other symbols, whichever common symbol is there, that common symbol only will come into the picture in the final conclusion. So now be clear, whenever it is being attached or associated with the equal to symbol separately, round it off, make it as a single term. From the other symbols only, we need to consider the common symbol. So now what will be getting? A greater than or equal to C, it is not A equal to C. Hope everybody is clear, right? So similarly, A less than B equal to C, it will be A less than C. A less than B less than or equal to B equal to C, you will be getting A less than or equal to C. A equal to B greater than C, you will be getting A greater than C. A equal to B greater than or equal to C, you will be getting A greater than or equal to C. A equal to B less than C, you will be getting A less than C. A equal to B less than or equal to C. So you will be getting A less than or equal to C. So if you are clear with these conditions and all, almost you are through. So we will see that, so whatever we have learned, in order to find out the relationship between any two terms, all the terms must be connected, all the symbols must be in the same direction, whichever common symbols are there, that common symbol only will come into the picture in the final conclusion. Whenever it is being attached or associated with the equal to symbol separately, round it off, make it as a single term. From the other symbols only, we need to consider the common symbol. So whenever terms are not connected, there won't be any conclusion at all. Whenever opposite symbols are there, there won't be any conclusion at all. Yes. Now we have seen that, right? So we have seen some 6 conditions how to find out the relationship between any two terms. Now I have given one example. So almost a small statement, can I say? No, it's a big statement, right? So now we'll see what is the relationship between A and O. Can you able to tell what is the relationship between A and O? No need to worry about the length of the statement, these things and all. No need to worry at all. So what is the relationship between A and O? If you see that one, opposite symbols are there. Simply we need to say no conclusion. Between A and O, no conclusion. What is the relationship between A and G? Can you able to tell what is the relationship between A and G? Whenever you need to find out the relationship between any two terms, so wherever equal to symbol is there, you put it in a single box. The best method, always keep it in a single box. Now see that greater than or equal to, greater than or equal to, greater than or equal to, greater than or equal to. So which is common symbol? We need to go ahead with greater than, because never say that sir majority of these terms many times reflected greater than or equal to, we need to go ahead with a greater than or equal to. No, not at all. Whichever common symbol is there, that common symbol only will come into the picture in the final conclusion. So we need to say that A greater than G is the answer. Now if I say what is the relationship between D and J? D and J greater than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and opposite symbols are there, there won't be any conclusion at all. So between D and J, there won't be any conclusion, no conclusion. So if we say H and L, what is the relationship between H and L? So which is the common symbol? Less than. So all the symbols are in the same direction. We can say that which is the common symbol means less than. H is less than, L is the answer. If I say what is the relationship between J and N? What is the relationship between J and N? Opposite symbols are there won't be any conclusion at all. That's it, as simple as it is. Whatever may be the statement, whatever the length of the statement being given, no need to worry about finding out the relationship between any two terms. So what are the conditions we learned? Can we just sum it up in order to find out the relationship between any two terms? All the terms in between must be connected, all the symbols must be in the same direction. Whichever common symbols are there, that common symbol only will come into the picture in the final conclusion. Whenever it is being attached or associated with the equal to symbol separately, round it off, make it as a single term. From the other symbols only we need to consider the common symbol. Whenever terms are not connected, there won't be any conclusion at all. Whenever opposite symbols are there won't be any conclusion at all. Now we have given an example. So and of course, so these things and all we have discussed. But what if the statement not been given like this, combined statement not been given, separately statements are being given, how to merge the statements now we will learn. Once you learn the merging of statements, you won't feel any difficulty. So combining the statements, and from there you can easily able to find out the relationship between any two terms, whatever the questions are being asked. Now we will see that different statements will be given and we need to merge the statements, and how to merge the statements, these things and all we will discuss in detail. So we will discuss in detail. We have seen previously how to find out the conclusion between these statements, right? We have given a lengthy statement and we could able to easily identify the relationship between any two terms based on the conditions which we have learned. Now statements are not been merged, so different statements are being given. How to find out the relationship between, if I say P and Q or A and B, how to find out the relationship? Now what we are going to do, we are going to merge the statements. So by merging the statements, no need to worry about which statement we need to consider and which and how to move forward and all. Which statement we need to consider and how to move forward. No need to worry about that. Whichever statement you like, you can go ahead with that. You can consider that statement. Only thing is, see the connecting statements. Accordingly, we need to move ahead with that. Suppose say that for the question number 1, I go ahead with starting with A. A is greater than or equal to B. So which has been now next one connected, either connecting with B any statement is there or connecting with A any statement is there. Kindly look up. So if you see that even with A it is there, A is greater than K. A greater than K, if you reverse it, it will be K less than A. K less than A. What is the next one? Relating to K, there is no statement at all, but relating to B we do have this statement. So M less than B, if you reverse it, B is greater than M, and again Q is equal to M or M is equal to Q. Now P is less than or equal to Q. It is also been connected. Q will be greater than or equal to P. That's it. You got the merged statement. This is what you got. Now if I say what is the relationship between K and P, what we need to tell? Opposite symbols are there won't be any conclusion. If I say what is the relationship between A and P, which is the common symbol, greater than or equal to, greater than or equal to, greater than. So greater than is the common. We need to say that A is greater than P. So this is how we need to merge the statements and thereby find out the conclusion between any two terms. Suppose instead of, sir, I don't want to go ahead with A greater than or equal to P, I will go ahead with P less than or equal to Q as the first statement. I will take P less than or equal to Q. Now how to move forward? See that relating to P and Q any term is there. Relating to P there is no statement. Relating to Q we do have. So directly we will go ahead with the Q is equal to M. So Q is equal to M. Next one, M is less than B. Directly M is less than B. What is the next one? A greater than or equal to B. Reverse it, B will be less than or equal to A. Directly A is greater than K. If you observe here, these two terms both are same only. That is, if I mention A greater than K, here we are getting K less than A. A greater than B, you will be getting B less than A. That's it. Other than that, no difference will be there. You will be getting same merged statement only. So no need to worry about which statement we need to consider first, these things and all. Just forget about that one. Whichever connecting statements are there, that connecting statements you just take and merge the statements. That's it. Now coming to here, second one, if I say that A R is greater than or equal to Q, which is the next one connected term. C less than Q, or Q will be greater than C. Anything else is there? R, Q and C, that's it. So B is greater than R, one more is there, B greater than R. So put a comma. What is the next one? We have P greater than M is there, P greater than M. So we do have P less than or equal to X. So that is the reason P less than or equal to X, P greater than M, so M less than P, and Y is equal to X, or X is equal to Y. So now we got two merged statements separately, right? This one you keep it separately, this one also we keep it separately. If they are asking about what is the relationship between P and Q, simply we need to say that no conclusion, because terms are not being connected, that's it. No need to worry that nothing being given like that, means simply say that no conclusion at all. What is the relationship between M and Y? We need to say that M is less than Y. And what is the relationship between B and C? We need to say which is the common symbol, greater than. So B is greater than C, as simple as it is. But whenever asking about what is the relationship between B and Y, simply say that no conclusion, because terms are not being connected. So coming to question number 3, if you see, observe here, B is only being reflected, A is greater than or equal to B, Y less than B means B greater than Y. All other statements are different statements only. If you observe, there is no connecting statements at all. R greater than or equal to S, asterisk is less than or equal to dollar, and K greater than or equal to N. All are different statements except this one and this one. So those two statements only match, other than that kept as it is. If now they are asking about what is the relationship between R and dollar, we need to simply say no conclusion. Asterisk and K, we need to simply say no conclusion. What is the relationship between A and I means, A and Y means, we need to say A greater than Y. Hope everybody is clear now how to find out the conclusion between any two terms. Even it is not being connected at a stretch, you can take individual statements, you can merge the statements, whichever the statements you like, you can consider that statement, see the connecting statements, accordingly we need to merge it. Accordingly we can able to easily tell the answer between relationship between any two terms. Now can we conclude, sum it up once again? In order to find out the relationship between any two terms, all the terms must be connected, all the symbols must be in the same direction. Whichever common symbols are there, that common symbol only will come into the picture in the final conclusion. Whenever it is been attached or associated with the equal to symbol separately, round it off, make it as a single term. From the other symbols only we need to consider the common symbol. And now we have even learned how to merge the statements also we have learned. We have seen previously 3 conditions, right? 3 questions and how to merge the statements. There is one more pattern where how to merge the statements. These type of combinations of statements, combined statements are being given. So we cannot able to merge all the statements sometimes. Say that suppose they are asking about the relationship between J and B. What is the relationship between J and B? How to find out the relationship between J and B means, only thing see that where is being J being given. So here also J is there, but there is no connecting term relating to B, there is nothing there. But if you see that J is being connected with D, D is being connected with B. So these 3 only we need to merge it. So say that J is equal to K, K less than D, and D with C, C with B. These 3 only we need to merge it. So J is equal to K, K less than or equal to D, and D with C. C greater than D means D less than C, B greater than or equal to C means C less than or equal to B. What is the relationship between J and B? So we can able to say whichever the common symbol, less than. So J is less than B is the answer. J is less than B is the answer. That's it. So every time no need to merge all the statements. Whichever relevant statements are there, those statements only we need to merge, and we can able to find out the relationship between any two terms. Same like that, if I say that what is the relationship between, so Q and H. What is the relationship between Q and H? So if I say where is Q and where is H, we can see here in third statement Q is there, H is here, but Q is being connected with J and J is being connected with H. J is being connected with H. So if you merge it, Q greater than R, R is greater than or equal to J, I greater than J means J less than I, and H greater than or equal to I means I less than or equal to H. So what is the relationship between Q and H? Whenever opposite symbols are there won't be any conclusion at all. That's it. So no need to worry about how to measure the statements, whether all the statements we need to consider, nothing like that. Whichever relevant statements are there, those relevant statements only we need to consider and measure the statements, find out the conclusion between any two terms. Now we have learned 6 rules, right? In order to find out the relationship between any two terms, what are all the conditions we need to follow. So we can even again sum it up. In order to find out the relationship between any two terms, all the terms must be connected, all the symbols must be in the same direction. Whichever common symbols are there, that common symbol only will come into the picture in the final conclusion. Whenever it is been attached or associated with the equal to symbol separately, round it off, make it as a single term. From the other symbols only we need to consider the final conclusion, right? So other than that one, whenever terms are not being connected, there won't be any conclusion at all. Whenever opposite symbols are there, there won't be any conclusion at all. And we merge these statements, we have find out the conclusion between any two terms are in the previous examples. Now, so in the exams, we need to find out when we need to use either one or two condition. So either one or two means either one may be true or two may be true. So these type of conditions when we need to use in coded inequalities. You can easily able to tell only when one only follows, when two doesn't follow, only one follows, we need to give one answer as one. When two doesn't follow, only one follows, we need to give answer as two based on the instructions given. And when we need to go ahead with either one or two condition. So see here, up to A and P, whatever the statement being given, what is the relationship between A and C? If you consider the first one, A is greater than or equal to C, but it is been given in the conditions A equal to C, so which may be true, but we should not consider may be true conditions. So A equal to C, individually it is wrong. A is greater than C, individually it is wrong. But what is the relationship between A and C? Means A is greater than or equal to C. What is the meaning A greater than or equal to C? Means A may be greater or A may be equal to C. That means individually they are wrong, but either of one must be right. So this is the area where we need to go ahead with third option. So either one or two, either one or two option, when we need to go ahead with that one. So whenever the relationship between the two terms being given as greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, but both the symbols being mentioned separately in two conclusions, greater than and equal to or less than and equal to, individually they are wrong, but either of one must be right. So when and all we need to use either one or two option means, either one or two option means whenever the relationship between the two terms being given as, we got the answer as a greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, but individually symbols being mentioned separately in two conclusions, individually they are wrong, either of one must be right. So here also less than or equal to means less than and equal to separately mentioned, individually they are wrong, either of one must be right. Same like that if you see that C and D, C and E, C and D, terms also must be same. Whenever different terms are there, normally there won't be any conclusion, but if you observe here, D and E are same. Here either you can replace E with D or D with E. Suppose you replace E with D. So what is the relationship between C and D? We have C is greater than or equal to D. C greater than is D is there, individually it is wrong. C equal to D, individually it is wrong. But the relationship between C and D, C is greater than or equal to D. So either of one must be right only. That is the reason we need to go ahead with the third option. So either one or two. Suppose in the instructions either one or two being given as fourth or five, we need to go accordingly. So kindly read the instructions, accordingly we need to move ahead. So see that third one again, H and F, F and H. What is the relationship between H and F? So F and H, F is greater than or equal to H or H is less than or equal to F. So H is less than F, individually it is wrong, H equal to F, individually it is wrong, but either of one must be right. We need to go ahead with the third option. Same like that K and M. So what is the relationship between K and M? K is less than or equal to M. So K is equal to M and K less than M. K less than or equal to M. Either of one must be right. Individually they are wrong. We need to go ahead with the third option. And M and P. Where is P and M? So of course M and N, put it in a single box as a same term. M is greater than or equal to P. M is greater than or equal to P, or P is less than or equal to M. So P less than M, individually wrong. P is equal to M, individually wrong. But either of one must be right. Again we need to go ahead with third condition. So when and all we need to use the third condition means we do have again two conditions. One area is here, whenever the relationship we got it as greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, and both the symbols mentioned separately in two conclusions, individually they are wrong, either of one must be right. So another one, now see that sixth one, A is greater than P, so many opposite symbols are there, no conclusion. F and O, opposite symbols are there, no conclusion. So what is the answer? We need to go ahead means neither one nor two follows or none follows. If it is instructions, it is being given as fourth condition, go ahead with the fourth. I am just assuming this is fourth condition, we are going ahead accordingly. Now see that seventh one, B and P. B and P, many opposite symbols are there, ruled out. Here also many opposite symbols are there, ruled out. Here also none follows, but this none follows is wrong. We need to go ahead with the third option, either one or two. How come? So between B and P, how come we need to go ahead with either one or two option? That is, see that B and P there is no relationship, but here less than is there, equal to is there, greater than is there. So between any two terms, what are all the conditions possibilities are there, what are all the relationship can be there? So it can be either greater or equal or less than, right? Either it can be greater than or it can be less than or it can be equal to. All these three conditions are there. If we say that there exists no relationship, we are wrong. So there must be definitely either greater than or equal to or less than. So these are all called complementary pairs. What is the meaning of complementary pair? Means if there exists no relationship between the two terms, there exists no relationship. If existing relationship is there, we should not move ahead with that. If there exists no relationship between the two terms, but all the three conditions are satisfied between the two terms, all the three conditions means greater than, less than and equal to, all the three conditions are satisfied between the two terms, they are all called complementary pairs. We call it as CP, complementary pairs. We need to go ahead with the third option. We need to go ahead with third option, because between any two terms only possibilities are it can be greater or it can be lesser or it can be equal to. If all the three are not there, what else can be there? That is the reason these are all called complementary pairs. We need to go ahead with the third option. So see that next one, F and N. Where is F and where is N? Many opposite symbols are there, F and N. Yes, opposite symbols are there. So F is it is very important when there exists no relationship. Existing relationship is there, all the three conditions are being given, we should not go ahead with complementary pair and go ahead with either one or two option. Remember, see that now next one, ninth one, A and H. So what is the relationship between A and H? A is greater than H. A greater than H, direct relationship is there, but all the three conditions are there. So if you just look up and say that sir, A less than or equal to H and A greater than H, will go ahead with either one or two option, taking it as a complementary pair? No, we should not, because existing relationship is there. We should not consider this one as a complementary pair. We need to go ahead with the second option. So this one, only second one follows. Direct relationship is there. When direct relationship is there, we should not consider complementary pair. Clear? So now see that one more, 10th one. So C and L, many opposite symbols are there. Yes, C less than or equal to L, L greater than C. Looks like a complementary pair. So you must be very careful in the examination. Sir, you can say that, sir, between C and L, all the three conditions are there. Where are all the three conditions? C less than or equal to L, L greater than C. If you make it ulta, if you make it reverse, it will be C less than L. So C less than L and C less than or equal to L. Where is greater than symbol? It looks like there is greater than symbol, but there is no greater than symbol there. You must be very careful in these areas too. So here none follows. We need to go ahead with fourth option. So what is the meaning of complementary pair? Means when there exists no relationship between the two terms, but all the three conditions are satisfied between the two terms, they are all called complementary pairs. We need to go ahead with either one or two option. Hope everybody is clear. Now when and all we need to use either one or two option. When the relationship between the two terms directly we got it as less than or greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, and in the conclusions individually they have mentioned greater than and equal to separately. Individually they are wrong, but either of one must be right. And the second condition, when there exists no relationship between the two terms, but all the three conditions are satisfied between the two terms, they are all complementary pairs. So again we need to go ahead with third option, either one or two option. These complementary pairs we call it as CP. So this ends with coded inequalities chapter. Hope everybody is clear, and if you are having any doubts, we will come with the second part very soon. So thank you, thanks a lot.